How do you extract value from the profile and reputation you've built in the marketplace? How can you package and leverage your knowledge and expertise for greater influence and impact? Welcome to Reputation Revolution, the show where we dissect what's involved in commercializing and profiting from your professional personal brand. You've put in the hard yards. Now it's time to capitalize. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to Reputation Revolution, the personal brand monetisation show. My name is Trevor Young, and this is the opening episode for Season 8. If you're a long-time listener, welcome back. It's terrific to have you with us again for season number 8. And if this is the first time you're joining us, well, welcome to you too. I hope you enjoy the show. Now, just a quick solo episode today because we've got some terrific guests lined up and some shows in the can, which we'll be publishing over the coming weeks. But I just thought I'd drop in quickly for an introductory show to set the scene for season 8, because there are going to be some changes to what you might have been used to. Not massive changes, but certainly a slight skew in how we're going to produce the podcast moving forward. In terms of, you may have already noticed, it used to be called the professional personal branding show, and now it's the personal brand monetization show. So we are going to be focusing a lot more on the commercialization of personal branding and capitalizing on all the hard work you've done in building your profile and reputation. So a little bit more on that later. But in this episode, I'm going to focus on the reputation economy and the creator economy and why it's important. Again, this is part of setting the scene because this show is really, I'm trying to bridge the gap between the reputation economy and the creator economy. And here's just a little bit of background and from a video that I've done recently, just to, as I said, to set the scene, the reputation economy versus the creator economy. And then I'll come back after I play the audio from this video. We hear a lot today about the creator economy, and there's also what's known as the reputation economy, and that's where I spend a fair bit of time, but I also spend a bit of time on the creator economy. So I thought I'd take a couple of minutes just to explain the differences between the two, because when you can see the differences from a content creation and content marketing perspective, then it really will, I think, clear a lot of things up, because there's a lot of messiness around the whole notion of content marketing. And so, first of all, we have the reputation economy. Now, that's the people working in that are, owners of businesses, and if you've got a professional career, anyone who's really, having a good, strong, solid reputation is key to their success. And as we know, we do live in, the trust. We live in a digital first world where trust is the social currency. So reputation is critical. And again, we're going to look at this from a content creation, content marketing perspective. So let's just, for argument's sake, lump into this thought leaders, subject matter leaders, knowledge leaders, business owners of service-based businesses, expertise-based businesses. Again, those where having a reputation is critical to success. So when it comes to content, these people, thought leaders, business owners, etc., they tend to create content for the benefit of their business or their career. They are already established or in the throes of building hopefully a sustainable enterprise. Now, they tend to be customer and client focused. So that when it comes to content creation, they understand their audience from that perspective, because that's who they deal with on a day-to-day basis. And growth is important, but it's not necessarily the key metric. It's not necessarily, it's a vanity metric. And yes, everyone wants growth of audience, but really it's about having the right audience. And they use content and leverage the power of content to build visibility, influence, and trust in the marketplace. These are key levers of reputation. They enhance one's reputation. business and personal brand reputation. And this, of course, is a reputation, is a key forerunner in a lot of aspects to commercial success. And so having a good reputation can lead to commercial impact in a positive way. Now, in terms of the creator economy, and again, we're going to get into this from a content perspective, this is the domain and the vanguard of the creator economy is the independent content creator. Now, what the independent content creators are out there doing is they're developing an independent media platform, whether it's a podcast, YouTube, email newsletter, live streaming, or, they might mix and match a couple of modalities if they've got plenty of time up their sleeve and got a team helping them behind the scenes. But what they're after is growth in readership, viewership, listenership. That's mission critical. The focus is on building an engaged audience first. Now, they want subscribers, of course. Of course, if you're on YouTube, you want subscribers there. If you're on podcasts, you want subscribers there. But really, the key for a lot of them, or the smart ones, is building that email list so you can have direct communication with your audience. So building your audience is mission critical, and they want to grow it and grow it quick and grow it big. And because once they do that, then they can work out ways and means to monetize that audience. Now, a lot of independent content creators, now it's becoming a thing and people are doing it as a business, and we're going to set out to do this. But, earlier on, it was usually people who were just doing it for passion purposes. That's something that they're really interested in doing. So, but if you look at a couple of great examples of independent content creators who are building multi-million-dollar businesses off the back of their media platform. You're looking at Ali Abdul on YouTube, or someone like John Lee Dumas, who runs the daily podcast Entrepreneurs on Fire. So by building a large and engaged audience, they can then work out ways and means to monetize that audience. They get to know the audience. They get to understand what their pain points are and their challenges and the problems that maybe they can solve as an independent content creator. How can they solve those as a business? So that's the big difference between the two. Reputation economy, established businesses, people in a professional career creating content, becoming thought leaders, and the content that creates is to underpin their reputation and to, hopefully lead to success in their career or their business. Creator economy on the other side, and it's not really black and white or red and right in this case, but this is a good way to look at it. In the independent content creators, of course, in the creator economy, they're all about building the audience first, becoming a media company, and then working out ways and means to monetize that audience. Key differences between the two. I like the sweet spot in the middle. As I said, I spend more time dealing with clients and helping them create content, etc. So they've firmly got their feet in virtual feet in the reputation economy. But I take a lot of my lead and a lot of my I research and I look at and I become inspired by those in the creator economy, the independent content creators, because they're the ones that are really, as I said, at the vanguard of what's going on in terms of content creation. So if you're a content creator in the reputation economy, I would be looking at what's going on in the creator economy and learning from that and being inspired by it. And then you start putting those strategies and tactics in place that might help jumpstart you ahead of your competition in the reputation economy. Okay, with that background out of the way, the relationship between the reputation economy and the creator economy, when it comes to creating content, there's a bit of a same but different vibe between both of those economies. So let's break them up into team reputation and team creator. Now, I'll cover team reputation first. Those on team reputation, let's call them, for the sake of a better word or a phrase, reputation creators. They run businesses and create content as a means of supporting those businesses. So while it might be to showcase their professional expertise or provide them with a platform for genuine thought leadership, their efforts are often geared towards building their profile and enhancing their professional reputation in the marketplace. That's why they create content for. Now, this in turn helps them obviously build trust and affinity with their prospective clients and customers, as well as the people who influence them. Now, let's turn our attention to Team Creator. Those on Team Creator, for want of a better phrase, we'll call them media creators. I'm using air quotes there. They're essentially mini media operations. In other words, they build their media platform, whether that's a newsletter, a blog, a podcast, or YouTube channel, or a combination thereof, along with their various and the myriad social channels that are out there. They also grow their audience. This is a strong focus for them. So while creating top-notch content is a priority, obviously, content distribution and promotion are equally as important today in building one's presence and following in the marketplace. They also monetize their audience and the brand they've built, often while remaining a pretty much a one-person business, obviously with virtual support. If they get too big, they need to bring in people to help them. Now, I want to cover hybrid creators. Now, I'm obviously been generalizing a little bit here, but I'm trying to paint a bit of a picture. There's definitely much nuance between the two types of content creator. But the hybrids, these are people who cross over. So let's look at what that looks like. We'll take those two areas, reputation creators and media creators. And this is where the hybrid or the crossover begins. Reputation creators, they start out doing it to support their brand and their business, but they end up building a decent size, engaged audience for their content, not to mention a growing media profile that comes with that. They then expand their business interests as a result, and sometimes potentially changing their commercial model away from what they built in the first place. We've seen this happen. So in other words, they've got many more commercial opportunities in front of them because they've been successful in growing their audience and building their brand. And so their business enterprise changes as a result. Maybe they add professional speaking. Maybe they become a B2B influencer, collaborate with others in their industry. Maybe they're offered external advisor roles over and above the business that they're running. Or perhaps they start teaching what they know and get paid for it. Now, this could be via online workshops, group coaching programs, etc. So where do the media creators cross over? They go down the path of growing and monetizing their audience. So traditionally, this would mean such things as advertising on their platform. If you've got a blog or a podcast, that means attracting advertisers and getting them to pay to advertise on your podcast, for example. Brand sponsorship deals, commercial collaborations. They can take many formats, affiliate marketing, creating exclusive content for paying subscribers using the likes of, say, Substack or Patreon, and even selling their own branded merchandise. We see media creators doing this all the time. So monetization, often they're the key things, the key ways of monetizing for media creators, but it can also extend into the online courses, the coaching and the consulting. And these are strategies that are probably more closely aligned to the reputation creators. So can you see where there's a crossover? That's where the crossover really starts to occur. So why is this important? I think it's important really because in today's competitive world, hyper-competitive world, digital-first world, myriad opportunities present themselves to the motivated and the curious, those individuals who are active players in the digital space and who understand how to leverage today's ever-evolving media landscape for commercial gain. Now, I've long encouraged business owners and marketers and PR practitioners to develop their own content philosophy. But now that sentiment is starting to edge into relevance when we start talking about building and commercializing one's professional personal brand. And that's the core theme or tenet of the show, the Reputation Revolution, the Personal Brand Monetisation Show. Actually, it hasn't always been that. Let me rephrase that. It hasn't always been that, but that is the core tenet of it now. I've had a shift in focus, is basically what I'm trying to say. Reputation Revolution in the past, this podcast in the past, over 270 episodes, has been focused on personal branding and really what we were trying to do over that long journey has been about helping credible individuals build visibility, influence, and trust in the marketplace, and in doing so, position themselves to take advantage of all the opportunities that come with being an active player in the reputation economy. So this meant we covered a lot of topics, and we did cover a lot of topics, and we have covered a lot of topics. Owned media, content creation, all of its various forms, social media, including pretty much every platform out there. We've looked at media and influencer relations. Earned media is what we call that. Reputation management, community building, book publishing, networking, public speaking, paid media, even SEO. Plus occasionally we've touched on the business side of personal branding, which I like to say extracting value from the profile and reputation you build. So as I said, that's a lot of stuff we've been covering, and they're all pretty much important parts of personal branding. And we have covered a lot of on this podcast. But now we're going to focus more on the business side of personal branding. This move will allow us here on the show to be more purposeful about creating content that focuses solely on playing a bigger game and leveraging one's personal brand assets for commercial gain and, building a successful business. So in other words, we're going to be looking at the business side of personal branding and capitalising on the profile and reputation we've built in the marketplace. Now, this by itself is a meaty topic, and only one we've only given scant regard to. We've given case studies of people, and we've gone on to the business side and the making money side of personal branding, but it's probably, I reckon, only been about 20% of our output. So now we're going to make it pretty much 100% of our output. And there's a fair bit, as I said, it's a meaty, broad topic anyway. This is where things now, when I've been looking at the reputation economy and the creator economy, I want to be looking at both sides of the creator coin. Now, there'll be a skew towards the reputation creator and how they can build a high revenue business off the back of their professional personal brand. But I'll also be looking at independent content creators and highlighting what we can learn from them, because they are at the cutting edge of content creation today. They're the ones who are doing it full time as a living and putting it all on the line to build an audience, to grow an engaged audience, to monetize that audience. So my goal with the podcast is to build a bridge between the reputation economy and the creator economy, and to explore where they meet and intersect, and then unpack the commercial opportunities that come with that. So hopefully that's an explanation, that's a long-winded explanation actually, but I needed to get, there's a fair bit of water under the bridge to get to this point, and that's why I did talk about the differences between the two, and then really start extrapolating and showing you where there is an intersection. So you might say, oh look, I've loved having listening to this podcast, and I understand this. I'll be running the risk that people will drop off because they've really wanted the personal branding tactical side of things, whether we've talked about how to, build an owned media channel, or we've covered YouTube, we've covered TikTok, we've covered, oh my gosh, I'm taking this all off the top of the head now. We've covered a lot of what I would call PR and digital communications activities centered around content, social media, earned media. We have covered those in the past. I'm just not going to go deep into those on this show. They'll be touched on, but it's not going to be that show anymore. But all is not lost. I've created for my sins. I need a second podcast, and I have launched a new podcast called Become Your Own PR Machine. So that's available now from wherever whichever podcast app you use to get source and listen and subscribe to your podcasts. Become Your Own PR Machine. Check it out if you like, because I'm covering off all of those things. I'm not walking away from any of those marketing communications strategies and tactics. They are all going to become Become Your Own PR Machine podcast. It's out now. There's quite a few episodes already in the can on that one. And so if you want to explore that side of things more, I urge you to go and check out Become Your Own PR Machine. But if you're interested in the business side of personal branding and capitalizing on the profile and the reputation you've built in the marketplace and commercializing your brand, well, then this is the show for you as well. And I think you'll find between the two, we've got there's a lot of meat. So not only this is the result and this is how we can monetize our brand and build a business around it, but this is how we can build it. That's this podcast. The other podcast is This Is How We Can Build It. Become Your Own PR Machine. So check that out. And if you wanted to subscribe to the Become Your Own PR Machine newsletter, just go to becomeyourownprmachine.com and you can do that as well. So I hope this little explanation gets you excited for what we're going to cover. Now, I did mention earlier that I'm going to talk about some of the guests we've got. We've got coming up Jackie Goddard, who's actually been a guest before because she's all about confidence and speaking and finding your voice. That was a couple of seasons ago, I think now. But Jackie's been, she runs a business called Power to Speak, and she is doing exactly what we talk here. She's built a profile and a reputation, and she's building a business around it. So we dig into her journey and how she's managed to do that, how she's managed to build a business, and how she has approached that, and what are the types of sources of revenue she's created. So a little bit of a case study of someone who's a work in progress. So that'll be the next episode, Jackie Goddard, Power to Speak. And that's what I want. I want to talk to people who are actually out there doing it. Then we're going to talk to the one after that. The episode after that will be with Ellen Donnelly, who is the founder of The Ask. She's founder of The Ask, and that's a coaching practice, and that's all around finding your unique contribution and building what's involved in designing a business around you. So, again, we're talking about the business side of personal branding. And then the one after that, we'll be talking with Alicia Edgar, and she is an automation expert, and we're talking all about how to put your business on autopilot so you can free up a little bit of your time, which when you're running a personal brand-based business and you're doing everything, often time is a big issue. So how can we get stuff off your plate and also use automation in a marketing sense to help drive more revenue and profit for your business? So 3 very disparate but interesting business-orientated interviews coming up, and we've got a lot more on the way as well. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this episode, and I look forward to you continuing the journey with you on the reputation revolution. Till next time.